I want to talk about a condition that affects so many aspiring entrepreneurs, and it is paralysis through perfectionism. So what do I mean by that? I mean, the amount of people that don't jump into the market, don't get started, hold themselves back because whatever it is that they want to do needs to be right before they start, and needs to be perfect. And the fact of the matter is if you try to be perfect in starting off, it's going to take a hell of a lot of money. It takes a hell of a lot of experience, which you won't have in starting. It actually is an impossibility to start. And if it's not, if it's not an impossibility, the only way you're going to really overcome that is through spending a huge amount of money, which if you spend too much money too early on will tee you up for failure in itself. When you actually get started, you get into the market, you start getting feedback and you learn from that feedback and you can refine whatever it is that you're doing through that feedback. And that's actually the route to ultimate perfectionism. Now, the thing is, as you progress, your ambitions and your goals grow. And so actually that space of being perfect is never actually achieved. And that in itself belittles the very idea of making sure things are perfect before you get started. So don't fall into that space of wanting or needing things to be perfect before you start. Actually, instead, realize that starting is how you get better and better and how you grow and how you reach that perfect place. So really, it's really interesting. I spent a year interviewing two or three entrepreneurs every week. So the guts of 100 entrepreneurs in a year. And what I learned is that the really successful ones, they got things to whatever level they needed to, and they got going. And some of them got the most unbelievably efficient or raw or lean routes to getting started. So, for example's sake, I was doing a talk last night with a guy called Shawnee B. He runs a number of barber shops now. He's really, really doing well. How did he start? He started doing haircuts in his mum's kitchen. People booked in over his phone. He did them one-to-one. That's absolutely amazing. I was with a guy who runs a number of yoga studios previously. How did he start? Doing one-to-one call-outs and doing yoga one-on-one with people in their living rooms. There are loads of really efficient, really lean ways of getting started that don't require a website, don't require a fancy name, don't require fancy graphics, don't require solicitors, fucking company setups, accountants, all that. And actually all that is really, really challenging and really, really difficult, but it has its place, and that's quite far down the line. Getting started, getting into the market, getting going, that's the important thing. Of course, there's loads of challenges and much bigger, more sophisticated ideas, but if you watched some of my previous videos, you'd realize that for me, everything is about starting in the smallest capacity possible, the most accessible capacity possible, and growing from there. That's my strategy for success. That's how you build a business without investment and without having to compromise your ownership. That's how you grow naturally, and you learn all the lessons along the way in a proportional places, so you don't end up getting slapped pretty hard because you've skipped a couple of levels along the way. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you probably watch a couple more of my videos and you'll get the very sense that I'm going for. But anyway, long story short, don't paralyze your progress by seeking perfectionism. Get stuck into the market, learn from the market, and grow that way. That's the most exciting way. That's the most exciting thing about business, and that's my wish for yourself.